everybody, welcome to Board Game Inquisition. We're kind of obsessed with collecting games and board game collections, so we make these YouTube videos and we write reviews and we post pictures to give you guys enough information to help you create an awesome board game collection of your own. Oh, and of course we're fanatical about everything board games. Today I'd like to talk to you about what's possibly the most quaint game in our collection. So here's 5 things I think you should know about Viticulture. Viticulture Essential Edition from Stonemaier Games is a game for 1 to 6 players in which you are the proud owner of your own vineyard. The aim of the game is to be successful at making and selling wines. At its core, Viticulture is of course a worker placement game. Your job is to send your workers out onto the map and have them perform actions. Now the difficulty comes however in determining and prioritising where to send these workers, as you have to spread them out over summer and winter season, and also dealing with the lack of availability of specific actions you might require. Because Viticulture sits itself so squarely in the worker placement category, there are a variety of games that are very similar to it. The ones I'll highlight from my collection that definitely echo the same sentiments would be something like Lords of Waterdeep perhaps, or Fresco, which are both games where you send your workers out to perform actions on your behalf. Setup for Viticulture is quick. It takes about half an hour for a solo game and about an hour to play with 2 players. What's interesting is that beyond that number, it seems to be roughly about 15 minutes per player. Now the turns are rather quick, so even at larger numbers like 5 or 6 players, you didn't feel like you were waiting around, which is pretty fantastic. As for replayability, well, there are varied win conditions each time and a variety of visitor cards that might help change your strategies. So while the game will always feel familiar, it rarely feels old. The artwork and the theme are very quaint and pastoral, and I do think they complement each other nicely. The game as a whole feels very mature and very calming. Now, I do love the meeples and all the farm equipment you get with the game, and I genuinely think that the game would have suffered without having some sort of nice element like those to add a little bit of fun and whimsy. What's special about Viticulture is its clarity of purpose. You're never in any doubt about what the game's about or what you should be doing. How do I really feel about Viticulture? Firstly, the negatives. While I don't think you'll need to be into wine or a wine lover to appreciate this game, I did find the theme as a whole to be kind of bland. And I don't think it lends itself to kind of exciting game moments. So for instance, I've never once slammed my card down on the table, pointed at my opponent and said, "Ha! I've made 8 sparkling wine, you're doomed!" There's just no triumphant exultation going on in this game. And I think that makes it blend in rather than stand out. Now, on the positive note, the fact that it doesn't stand out allows for kind of a rhythmic and calming gameplay where you're going through the motions and it's pleasant just to be completing things. The other very special aspect, of course, is the fact that in a world of 2 to 4 player games, Viticulture plays 1 to 6 players, and it feels the same with 1 player as it does with 6, which I think is a pretty exceptional feat. So do I think you should have Viticulture in your collection? Well, if you like worker placement games, absolutely, you'd be missing out. It's a very well thought out and very polished game. You've been watching Board Game Inquisition. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about subscribing, or if you've got something you'd like to tell me about Viticulture, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. All games mentioned in this video will be linked in the description below, and until next time, I'll be here asking questions, playing games, and of course perusing my collection. Take care!